Hi, I'm Jeff Harbert, and I'm here with Christopher Gorski of NC Nearspace, and they just launched a weather balloon to the edge of space a bit over an hour ago. Hey, Chris, why don't you give us an overview about what NC Nearspace does?
Well, we're just a group of hobbyists. We love flying these weather balloons. We started, we had a contest entry, and a group put itself together up at Tech Shop in Raleigh a few years ago, and we put together a payload that had a camera and took pictures of. They look like outer space pictures. They're nowhere near as high as that, but they have the good black sky and blue Earth, and we had such a good time that we've kept doing it ever since then.
Very cool, very cool. What does the FAA have to say about launching weather balloons to the edge of space?
Surprisingly little, actually. There's a set of regulations. The FAR Part 101 talks a lot about what balloons have to do, and one of the things that it says is that if you are under 4 pounds and don't do a handful of other specific things to make life difficult, that you are an unregulated object. So as long as I keep my payload small, and 4 pounds is not really that small a number to work with, if all I'm using is a camera, then my small payload can go unregulated, and I don't have to do anything specific.
Speaking of payloads, what sort of stuff do you usually send up on a balloon?
Well, the basics are always the camera and tracking device. And today's is a pretty basic payload. We have just one little point-and-shoot Canon camera that's been programmed to take a picture every few seconds, and I think it takes 3 pictures and then 30 seconds of video, and does that over and over. And then we have an amateur radio device. It's called APRS. And right now we're able to track our altitude, and we're, as of a couple of minutes ago, just a little over 60,000 feet in altitude, I believe. And that is it's a ham radio band packet device that tells us where we are currently. And the third thing that's on there right now is a satellite tracking device. It's called a Spot. A lot of outdoorsmen use it for just as a safety device, and it's set up to send a transmission every 10 minutes or so. During the flight, it'll cut out when it's at altitude, but when it comes back down to ground level, and there may not be any amateur radio receivers nearby, that's how we find our device again.
Interesting stuff. What all, aside from the payload, what sort of equipment do you need to launch a weather balloon to the edge of space?
There's not a whole lot of other things that are involved. You need to buy the balloon, of course. We've been buying just regular 600-gram weather balloons and filling them up to around 6 feet in diameter by the time that we let them go. We need a parachute, of course. We're dropping, 4 pounds dropped from tens of thousands of feet is an interesting thing if you don't have a parachute. So we just bought, we buy or build small parachutes that are similar to the kind that rocket hobbyists use. And then just some rigging to tie it all together, and a little box to put the camera in. And that's really all that you need.
And how high do these do these things usually go, and how far do they go?
That depends, and that depends. Our most recent flight was about 97,000 feet, I believe, which is one of the higher altitude ones we've had. Using the same, I believe we're using the same balloon this time that we did last time, so we should get a similar number based on our similar fill. Maybe a little bit lower, but hopefully similar. As far as distance goes, we've had them anywhere from 15 miles away to well over 100. We've had to drive to Virginia before, or we've had to drive basically to the other side of town before, and that depends mostly, I think, on the weather, as well as how fast we're going up, how fast we're going vertically. Because if it gets up to the altitude where it bursts very quickly, then I don't have a long time to drift.
Well, that's great stuff. Where can people find out more about NC Nearspace?
We are online all over the place. We are ncnearspace.org is our website. We're NC Nearspace on Facebook and Twitter. And, we don't necessarily post a whole lot of information to either of those, but we do try and keep people updated while we're flying or right before we fly to let them know that there's something coming up. So today we've actually posted the tracking links, and if you watch this and you see us fly again sometime soon, you can always check us out on Twitter especially, and the other ones, and follow us from there.